Hi, ECC Kids Out Loud. I'm Kristen Mueller, and it is so good to be with you. I have missed seeing your bright, smiling faces in person at ECC. Now, over these next 4 weeks in December, we are going to be sharing 5 stories with you. You'll want to tune in each week to see these stories because they're going to lead up to that very special Christmas day. Now, our first story comes from Luke chapter 1. And today, I'm going to begin the story of how Jesus was born. But before I can tell you about the trip to Bethlehem, the shepherds, the angels, and the wise men from the east, I have to tell you about the special birth of John the Baptist. John was Jesus' cousin. John the Baptist was born 3 months before Jesus was born. This is how it happened. A long time ago, it had been more than 2,000 years. A man named Zacharias and his wife Elizabeth lived in the land of Israel. They both obeyed all of God's commands and did what was right in the sight of the Lord. Zacharias and Elizabeth were very old, but they had no children. They both prayed that God would give them a child. Now, Zacharias was a priest. His job was to work in the temple of the Lord. One day when Zacharias was working in the temple alone, something amazing happened. All of a sudden, a bright and shining angel of the Lord appeared. Zacharias was very, very surprised. The angel told Zacharias that he should not be afraid. He told Zacharias that God had answered his prayers and that his wife Elizabeth would have a son. The angel told Zacharias to name his baby John. God had a very important job for John to do. John's job was to prepare the hearts of God's people for the coming of Jesus, who would be born soon. Zacharias did not know what to think. You see, Zacharias was very, very old, and Elizabeth, his wife, was very old too. Very old people do not have children. Zacharias did not believe what the angel told him. Was that a good thing? I don't think so. If an angel sends a message from God, I think that it would be a good idea to believe what he says, don't you? But unfortunately, Zacharias did not. So he said to the angel, "How do I know that you are telling me the truth?" The angel said to Zacharias, "I am Gabriel. I serve God. I have been sent to speak to you and to tell you this good news." But because Zacharias did not believe God's message to him, Gabriel said, "And now you will have to be silent. You will not be able to speak until after John is born. That's because you did not believe my words. They will come true at the time God has chosen." And that is exactly what happened. While Zacharias was in the temple talking with the angel, his friends were waiting outside. They were wondering why Zacharias was taking so long to do his job in the temple. Finally, Zacharias came out of the temple. He had an amazing story to tell his friends, but he couldn't talk. He tried to tell everyone what had happened, but because he couldn't talk, it was very hard for his friends to understand him. So, Zacharias went home to his wife, Elizabeth. In time, Elizabeth gave birth to a beautiful baby boy. Elizabeth told everyone that his name was John. People were surprised that Elizabeth wanted to name the baby John. No one in her family had ever been named John. They were so surprised that they asked his father Zacharias what he wanted to name the baby. Zacharias wrote on a tablet, "His name is John." As soon as he did, Zacharias could talk, just as the angel Gabriel had said. Zacharias praised God and told everyone he met about what God had done. And that is the end of our first story. That story, friends, is true, and that story is written for you and for me. That story comes from the Bible, from God's Word. You can find it in Luke chapter 1, and I encourage you, look it up today. Now, I'm also going to put some questions up on the screen. If you're watching this video at home with someone, take a little bit of time and talk about the questions together. I'll give you a couple minutes to do just that. Well, ECC kids, I'm so glad that you are here for this story. Tune in next week when we'll have another story to share with you leading up to Christmas. It's great to see you again. Have a great week.